But first ask yourself, can you give your heart? Can you give everything for humanity?
For humanity. Your hearts and souls to the cause. A phrase commonly used by Erwin Smith, the devil with a dream. A man whose leadership is so pure and just that I'm sure most of the people watching right now would follow him straight into hell, just like the Scouts did. The duality of Erwin is the fact that on the surface he is a great leader, but underneath he is a bad person. This beckons the question, was Erwin Smith evil? Welcome to the library, a digital syllabus for champions. My name is Donnie, and today we will be dissecting the leadership qualities and the morality of Erwin Smith, the devil with a dream. Perseverance in the face of absolute hopelessness is something that I will always respect, and it is one of the core themes in Attack on Titan. It certainly is a constant occurrence in a military regiment as dangerous and risky as the Scouts. A regiment where humans who live in the walls venture out to find new lands and fight against Titans. A regiment where the mortality rate of a soldier's first mission is 50%. A regiment where oftentimes missions end with over 70% of the regiment's members being dead. A regiment where those who become veterans are regarded as humanity's strongest soldiers. To survive in a regiment such as this is one thing, but to become the commander and leader of such an elite force of fighters is something else entirely. Especially since the Scouts are not the best paid, nor are they the best treated soldiers in the land. Whoever becomes the leader of such a regiment would have to be the perfect combination of brave, strong, smart, and most of all, absolutely insane. That about sums up Erwin Smith.
The operation to retake Wall Maria begins now!
Standing at over 6 feet tall with blonde hair, a wide jaw, and piercing blue eyes, he is the epitome of what a textbook leader should be. He is charismatic, strong, and tough, but he is also smart and extremely tactical. Always 2 steps ahead of even his own comrades. One of the first moments that we are introduced to Erwin is when the cadets are choosing their regiment. He gives a powerful speech that is both honest and enticing.
Whoever still wishes to put their life on the line and join us, remain here. But first ask yourself, can you give your heart? Can you give everything for humanity?
To the soldiers that decide to join the Scouts, he gives his respect.
You who stayed, you are now one of us. Allow me to welcome you to the Scout Regiment. This is a genuine salute, soldiers. Together we give our hearts.
At first glance, this is a man of honor and someone who is driven by a great sense of purpose. He is the head of humanity's last hope and takes his position as commander very seriously. Examples of Erwin showing his mastery as a leader are endless. There was his plan to capture Andy. The fact that he was even able to figure out that there was a traitor in the military without any information other than the fact that Eren could turn into a Titan was impressive enough. He then proceeded to devise a plan that was presented as a training exercise, where he lied to each soldier about Eren's position and set up a trap to capture Annie. The formation they used to spot and kill Titans was also genius. The perfect way to ward off Titans without accumulating too many casualties, and the perfect way to protect Eren whilst also concealing his position. This showed Erwin's tactical ability and his understanding of people. Another example was at the Battle of Shiganshina.
Keep your eyes open! We still need to find his allies!
Where Erwin didn't panic when the Scouts were ambushed by Zeke and Reiner began to climb the walls.
Hanji, why doesn't he have us attack? What's he thinking?
The enemy prepared quite the welcome. He's watching their movements for now. Erwin doesn't want to act until he understands their strategy.
He stood there, composed as ever, while everyone was screaming at him for orders.
Sir, what now? The armored Titan is almost up! Bertolt hasn't shown yet, but he must be nearby!
Yes, I'm well aware.
He analyzed the situation, figured out the enemy's strategy, and then calmly gave out orders.
At this point, the thing I fear most
is that Raina and Bertolt will reach our horses and slaughter them unchecked. Therefore...
The best part of this was the fact that Raina stood in front of him, and instead of running or even reacting, Erwin stared down the armored titan, and he did so while only having one arm.
You're not giving me any time to think, Commander.
How he lost that arm is my final example, and I'm sure you'll agree that it was one of the most hardcore moments in the show. After leading a horde of titans straight at Raina, a battle begins. All the scouts are scared out of their minds due to how many titans are around them, but Erwin gives a powerful speech and yells his famous line.
Go! Recover Eren from the armored titan and retreat! Your heart and soul to the cause!
Wait!
Your hearts and souls to the cause. This inspires the scouts to act and ride straight into a horde of man-eating titans. Erwin yells at his soldiers to advance and is then attacked by a titan that bites his arm. Everyone panics since the commander is the heart of the Survey Corps, and Erwin, with his entire arm in a titan's mouth, does this.
Advance! I said advance, goddammit! Eren's right in front of you! Do not falter!
He selflessly throws his own life away for the life of Eren, and says that he is disposable, but Eren isn't. Surely, a commander as noble as this could not be a bad person. Surely, he cannot be evil. One of my favorite quotes in the show is when Armin says that in order to rise above monsters, we have to abandon our humanity. What we fight, we become. Fire with fire.
To rise above monsters, we have to abandon our humanity. What we fight, we become. Fire with fire.
This is true in Erwin's case. Due to the fact that he is the leader of the most dangerous military regiment of his people, he is often forced to make impossible decisions, choosing knowledge over human life, choosing who to trust and who not to, and oftentimes having to send his fellow comrades to their deaths.
He had to choose. A handful of us, or all of us. What would you have done? He made a decision. He sacrificed 100 lives for the good of mankind.
In order to advance humanity forward, the commander is often forced to sacrifice a few lives for the many lives of his people. This is a burden that he carries with him, and one that takes a huge toll on him as well. In one of his final moments, he speaks about how he can see the pile of his many dead comrades.
Can you see them too? Our comrades, they're all standing around us. They've been watching us all this time. They want to know what we did with the sacrifices that they made.
How he feels like they are watching him, and how he must ensure that their deaths were not for nothing. Since the leader is responsible for all, Erwin is responsible for the deaths of countless scouts that have served in the Survey Corps. We know that he is not heartless, and that this responsibility affects him, but we also know that him being this selfless and noble leader, filled with honor, is a lie. When Erwin was a child, his father was a teacher. One day, in a history class, Erwin's father spoke about how over 100 years ago, humanity fled to the walls in order to avoid extinction from titans. But that in this process, they lost all record of what life was like before they entered the walls. This puzzled Erwin, who asked his father a question. His father responded with a very evasive answer and continued the lesson. Later at home, Erwin's father told him a theory that he had. He had a theory that when humanity first entered the walls, the king altered their memories.
He told me the history books he received from the government were full of contradictions and mysteries. 107 years ago, when humanity fled to these walls, the king altered their collective memory.
Erwin went to school the next day and told his friends. After that, the police came to see Erwin's father, and later his father was found dead. Erwin quickly figured out that the government had silenced his father for getting close to the truth. He then made it his life's mission to prove that his father's theory was right. So all of the scouts that he sent to die, all of the battles he fought, all of his speeches about doing what is good for humanity, were not to push his people forward, or to help humanity. They were for his own selfish agenda.
I'd realized something, that of all my brave comrades, only one was fighting for himself. They bled and died for each other, while I fought for a selfish dream.
The scary thing that I don't see anyone talking about is the fact that technically, Erwin accomplished his life's mission. He managed to prove that his father's theory was right, and that the first king did in fact wipe out humanity's memory. But I suppose this wasn't enough for him. He still wanted to lead the expedition to retake Wall Moria, even though he had just lost an arm. Not because he cared about humanity, or because he thought that he was their best hope of completing the mission. He wanted to lead it because him being present at the most pivotal moment of humanity's history was more important to him than humanity's victory.
Being there, is that important? More than your legs?
Yes.
More than humanity's victory?
Yes.
Everything Erwin has done in the entire show, he did for himself. It's pretty crazy when you contemplate the risks he took and the amount of times he gambled with his own life in order to achieve this. He is a bad person, no doubt, but he is also the greatest leader in the show as well. Keeping that in mind, an argument could be made that if Erwin was saved instead of Armin, he might have quit being a soldier altogether. Now that he had proven his father's theory and learned the truth about the world, there would be no reason for him to keep fighting. What do you think he would have done if he survived? So was Erwin Smith a great leader but a bad person? Absolutely. But was Erwin Smith evil? I don't think so. Selfish? Yes. Self-serving? For sure. He became a devil and a monster in order to fight devils and monsters. But he did so with a pure intention at heart. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.